In case you're wondering why your 60 Minutes and your CBS News has a slightly different flavor, Larry Ellison would be the reason why. And what media entities does Jeff Bezos own? The Washington Post, which will never again break another scandal ever as long as Jeff Bezos owns it. Number 8 on the list of the top 10 worst things billionaires have done this year. Again, these are in no particular order.
Let's give it a quick drop and split the orange clean in half.
Number 8. The 7 richest billionaires in the world are all media barons. Think about that the next time you're consuming your news and entertainment. It's always good to know who's providing that news and entertainment to you. Just as an example, you'll recall Larry Ellison, already the owner of Paramount, Paramount Plus, and CBS News. That Larry Ellison, this is from a news article in November. Trump loyalist and CIA contractor Larry Ellison's purchase of CNN appears imminent and marks the latest venture into media for the world's second richest individual. But Ellison is not alone. Indeed, the world's 7 richest individuals are all now powerful media barons, controlling what the world sees, reads, and hears. Paramount Skydance, an Ellison-owned company, is in pole position to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery, a conglomerate that controls gigantic film and television studios, streaming services like HBO Max and Discovery Plus, franchises like DC Comics, and TV networks such as HBO, TNT, Discovery Channel, TLC, Food Network, and CNN. This lead is largely due to Ellison's proximity to Donald Trump, who would ultimately have to sign off on such a deal. Here's another headline, this one from early December. Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, along with the sovereign wealth funds from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi, is an investor in Paramount's hostile takeover bid for Warner Brothers. For now, Paramount has withdrawn their hostile bid for Warner Brothers. It seems the marginally better deal between Netflix and Warner Brothers will hold, although if Netflix and Warner Brothers are allowed to merge, that too will create a media monopoly, including Warner Brothers Film Studio, HBO and HBO Max, and intellectual property including Harry Potter, the DC Universe, Game of Thrones, Friends, The Big Bang Theory, The Sopranos, and so on, and so on, and so on. The world's 7 richest individuals are all now powerful media barons, controlling what everyone sees, what everyone reads, and what everyone hears, marking a new chapter in oligarchical control over society and striking yet another blow at a free, independent press and diversity and freedom of opinion. Who are the 7 billionaire media barons?
Let's give it a quick drop and split the orange clean in half.
1. Larry Ellison. Estimated net worth is $238 billion. What media outlets does Larry Ellison own? Paramount Skydance, CBS, including CBS News, Paramount Pictures, MTV, Nickelodeon, Paramount Plus, TikTok USA, and Skydance Media. In case you're wondering why your 60 Minutes and your CBS News has a slightly different flavor, Larry Ellison would be the reason why. Just saying. Not saying how your news has changed if you still watch CBS News, but it's changed. 2. Elon Musk. Estimated net worth around $685 billion. What media outlets does Elon Musk own? Twitter and XAI, including the infamous Grok, the AI chatbot. 3. Jeff Bezos. Estimated net worth is $249 billion. What media entities does Jeff Bezos own? The Washington Post, which will never again break another scandal ever as long as Jeff Bezos owns it. Just saying, just theorizing. Amazon, including MGM Studios, Prime, Twitch, Audible, IMDb, Amazon Live, and AWS Elemental. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, maybe keep one eye open on whatever entertainment's coming out of Amazon and whatever news is coming out of the Post. And remind yourself, anytime you look at it, enjoy it, think about it, share it, it's owned by someone. 4. With my apologies for my pronunciations, Bernard Arnault. Estimated net worth is $202 billion. What media entities does Bernard Arnault hold? Les Echos, Le Parisien, Paris Match, Radio Classique, Les Opinions, Les Gefi, and Challenges. 5. Mark Zuckerberg. Estimated net worth is $228 billion. What media entities does Mark Zuckerberg own and control? Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, Threads, WhatsApp, MetaQuest, and Giphy. I did not know he had a hand in Giphy. 6. Larry Page. Estimated net worth is $265 billion. Sergey Brin is number 7. Estimated net worth is $247 billion. Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the media entity that they have their hands in, of course, is Google and YouTube.
Let's give it a quick drop and split the orange clean in half.
Outside of the 7 wealthiest media barons, here are some other media moguls who control a huge amount of the news and entertainment people around the world are consuming. Brian L. Roberts of the Comcast Corporation. His estimated net worth is $1.4 billion. The media empire he controls includes NBC Universal. NBC Universal includes NBC, Telemundo, USA Network, Sci-Fi, Bravo, E, CNBC, MSNBC, or MS Now. Did they spin off? And other networks. NBC Universal also includes Universal Pictures, Illumination Entertainment, Focus Features, and Universal Television. NBC Universal also includes Peacock, NBC.com, Telemundo.com, and other streaming sites and digital platforms. NBC Universal also includes the theme parks and resorts. Also included in Brian L. Roberts' media empire is Sky Europe, which includes Sky News, Sky Sports, Sky Cinema, and Sky Go or Sky Now. Brian L. Roberts' empire also includes Comcast and Xfinity. And wouldn't you know it, down there, tucked away in his media empire is Snap Inc., which includes Snapchat. Here's another media mogul. Number 2 is Jonathan Harmsworth, the 4th Viscount of Rothmere. You may recall, the owner of the Daily Mail. Harmsworth is currently negotiating to acquire the Daily Telegraph and the Sunday Telegraph. Jonathan Harmsworth's net worth is estimated to be $1.5 billion. Included in his media empire is, of course, the Daily Mail, Mail on Sunday, and Mail Online. Lowercase I, which was a daily newspaper, they took over. Metro, Find a Property, Prime Location, Job Site, Classic FM, and New Scientist. If the Harmsworth family is allowed to acquire the Daily Telegraph and the Sunday Telegraph, you can bet the flavor of the news that comes out of the Telegraph is probably going to change, just a little bit. Number 3, Rupert Murdoch. You may have heard of him. Estimated net worth is around $24 billion or $25 billion. Included in his media empire is Fox Corporation, which of course includes the infamous Fox News, and Tubi. Also included in his media empire is News Corp. News Corp includes the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, the Times and the Sunday Times, the Sun, News Corp Australia, HarperCollins Publishers, including Christian and Bible publishing imprints such as Zondervan, and digital and classified media, for example, REA Group. Here's another media mogul. Number 4, Jay Penske. Jay Penske via Penske Media Corporation or PMC. His estimated net worth is only $250 million. Ooh. Included in Jay Penske's media empire, Variety, Rolling Stone, The Hollywood Reporter, Billboard Magazine, Deadline Hollywood, IndieWire, Gold Derby, Women's Wear Daily, Fairchild Fashion Media, The Robb Report, She Media and She Media Network, Artforum and Art News, BGR, The Boy Genius Report, and TV Line, which he just sold this year. Jay Penske's media empire also includes Vox Media, South by Southwest, the Life is Beautiful Music and Art Festival, the ATX Television Festival, and many more. Jay Penske's media empire also includes television and awards businesses. For example, Dick Clark Productions. Jay Penske owns Dick Clark Productions? One example of this relationship includes the Golden Globes. So the Golden Globe Awards are owned and organized by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. However, while the HFPA controls the awards, NBC traditionally held the broadcast rights until 2022 when NBC dropped them. Dick Clark Productions took over the Golden Globe ceremony. So while the HFPA owns the awards themselves, the production and the broadcast are handled by Dick Clark Productions and other outside companies. Think about that the next time you watch an award show and wonder why someone was or was not nominated, or why someone was or was not trashed in a magazine, or why someone was or was not featured on the cover of a magazine. Ask yourself who owns the publication and who benefited from putting so-and-so on the cover or not putting so-and-so on the cover. Just some rhetorical things to think about the next time you watch an award show or think you can trust something that you're reading or seeing in a magazine. Just a thought.
Let's give it a quick drop and split the orange clean in half.
We at Billionaires News Now welcome your comments regarding the billionaires who are missing from this list. We invite your suggestions for the billionaires who should have been included here, or who should be sent to the guillotine, or the mouth of the active volcano, or the Vermette Arena to fight to the finish. In these trying, unequal times where the world's richest 10% holds about 50% of the world's wealth, while we, the regular people in the bottom 50%, hold only around 8% of the world's wealth, Billionaires News Now is here for you. From the BNN News Desk to you, we wish you the merriest of holidays, whatever holiday you may celebrate. May the lumps of coal we the people have been given keep you and yours warm and safe and fed and happy. And remember, Ebenezer Scrooge paid Bob Cratchit 15 shillings a week, which, when adjusted for inflation, is estimated to be around £600 per week, or approximately $32,000 a year. Meanwhile, a person in the United States earning the minimum wage of $7.25 per hour and working full-time, assuming they're working full-time, makes approximately $15,000 a year before taxes. This amount is below the official federal poverty level for a single-person household, which is set to $15,650. Bear in mind, the FPL, federal poverty level, was established in the 1960s and has not since been adjusted for inflation. And remember, since 1978, the cost of living has risen about 400%. Maybe we, the people, should stop asking the sleeping baby Jesus to take the wheel, because God ain't got nothing to do with this mess. God bless.
Let's give it a quick drop and split the orange clean in half.
I'd like to thank you for listening, and if you like what you have seen and heard, please consider following or subscribing or checking out the book itself.
Let's give it a quick drop and split the orange clean in half.
So in this first chapter, which is doing, again, so much heavy lifting, is trying to give you the context, is trying to bring you into this world where everything is a little bit backwards from our current world. It's hopefully giving you the context that you need if you haven't read the rules and regulations, if you haven't visited the website. Even if you don't understand, hopefully this opening chapter is at least tickling something in your brain and making you go, that's interesting. And then if you have read the rules and regulations, then this will make perfect sense to you. Like, oh yes, I see what they're doing. And then, Lev has these final lines where he looks at everyone in the boardroom and says, this is not just about the company, and this is not just about me. This affects each and every one of you too. We either solve this problem, or our next meeting will be all of us together on the floor of Vermette Arena. And there, I'll be poking your eyes out for real. So that's calling back, if you think about Naked Eye. So that's calling back to Naked Eye. And then what is this Vermette Arena? For those of you who've read the big rules and regulations, you know what the Vermette Arena is, and you're pumped. But if you don't know, if you're reading this cold, you're thinking, why would their next meeting be together on the floor of Vermette Arena? And there he'll be poking their eyes out for real? Hopefully that's got you a little excited. So that's the opening chapter of My Billionaires Games by J.L. Gould, Level 1. And I should also note that the entire book All the primary chapters are going to go up on Reddit, and then the Apocrypha is only going to be available in the book form because the Apocrypha would be spoilery. I'd like to thank you for listening, and if you like what you have seen and heard, please consider following or subscribing or checking out the book itself. Thank you very much for your time. In the name of fairness, please be well.